It's been a couple of weeks. I really haven't been putting very much content up. There's been a lot going on, and I really haven't picked up a cue in at least a week. Um, I wanted to catch up since I had a few minutes to um, to talk about how to practice when you don't like drills. So personally, I get bored doing typical drills. You know, put a shot or a series of shots up and do them over and over and over again. I get really bored with that very quickly, and so I've never been able to do that. So what I did is a long time ago I came up with a way of practicing that doesn't involve shooting the same shot over and over and over again. And basically what it is you need that repetition. Okay, you do need the repetition of shooting shots over and over, but you also need to be able to maintain your focus while you're doing that. And so what I've done in the past is I'll play a game and identify shots that I am not making. Today what I want to do is I want to show you. I'm going to use a drill. I've used it for a long time. Bob Jewett came up with it way back when. Dr. Dave has updated it and kind of made a video on it. I'll put a link to the video down below so that you can see it. The basic concept is it's a progressive rack running drill. So you start with very easy stuff and then you get a little bit harder, a little bit harder. There are some places where difficulty does jump significantly. There are 16 total phases in it. Dr. Dave put skill levels with each of the steps. I don't agree with that. A lot of times skill level is something that you just aren't going to determine from a drill, even if it's a progressive drill. There are too many things that can go wrong. You could break and have everything come back together in a clump and have that happen twice and you're done. But anyhow, here's the drill.
So here are the rules. Ball in hand after the break on all racks. Scratches on the break don't matter. If a ball goes in, it stays down. 2 out of 3 runs to progress. So 2 out of 3 of each one to move forward. So here they are, 6 balls in any order. Shoot the object ball directly in the pocket, meaning don't use the cue ball. 6 balls in any order. Take a ball in hand on every shot. 6 balls in any order. You get 3 ball in hands. That is 4 ball in hands, including the one after the break. 6 balls in any order with 2 ball in hands plus the one after the break. 6 balls in any order, 1 ball in hand. 3 stripes, 3 solids, 8 ball on the table, playing by 8 ball rules. So shoot one of the sets in and then the 8 ball. Then 9 balls in any order with an extra ball in hand. 4 stripes, 4 solids, 8 ball, and playing by 8 ball rules. So same as before, pick a set, shoot the set. When you make the 8 ball, you win. Then 15 balls in any order with 2 ball in hands, in addition to the one after the break. 6 balls in numeric order, so that's actually 6 ball. 15 balls in any order. 15 balls by 8 ball rules, which is basically you're playing the 8 ball ghost. 4 stripes, 4 solids, and the 8 ball on the table. Play 8 ball rules to the 8, just like you did on step 8, but then play the remaining balls in rotation order. So that's kind of a play on Fargo. And then 9 balls, which is the 9 ball ghost. You break, you take ball in hand, and you run 9 balls in order. Then 15 balls by 8 ball rules with the remaining balls in rotation order. So you pick a set, you shoot down in the set, you shoot the 8 ball in, and then whichever set you didn't shoot, you shoot the rest of those in rotation. And that's actually a game called Fargo if you're not familiar with it. And then finally, 15 balls in rotation order, which is actual rotation.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the shots that I missed, and then how I play those as a drill. And then I'm going to, at the end, I'll just put the whole drill that I did together if you want to watch the actual shooting of the drill. I'm going to start now and just go ahead and do the drill. All right, so we finished shooting, and I missed 4 shots. Here are the 4 shots. Okay. What I'm going to do for a drill now is I'm going to take those 4 shots and I'm going to look at, is there a way that I can make this into a pattern that is easy to do, has natural leaps to it. This pattern is interesting to say the least, because what I need to do is I need to get the cue from here. The 8 ball, this shot was from up here to cut it in. The 1 ball was basically that cut, and the 3 ball was this cut with follow English to break out the set. So those are the shots that I missed. I'm going to put them out on the table, and I'm going to see if there's a pattern that I can use to shoot these out and shoot all 4 of these shots in one set of shots. And so I think the easiest way to do this is to start with the 1, shoot the 1 in the side, have the cue ball come out for the 3, shoot the 3, stun the cue ball up here, shoot the 7, and have the cue over here to cut the 8 in to the corner. So that's the pattern that I'm going to need to play in order to practice the 4 shots that I missed. So if we start here, okay, that came a little far, but I'm still going to play out the pattern. Okay. Okay, I missed. So now I'm just going to keep repeating and setting that same pattern up again and again and again. I think that was there. And bear in mind, if you can't get all the way through all of the shots that you missed in one pattern like this, you can split it up into 2 and say, okay, well, you know, this is the mirror of the shot. So I had the cue ball here and the 1 ball here. I'm just going to take those and swap them on this side, because that'll let me get my leave on the 8. So I am allowed to modify it as long as I'm still shooting the same essential shot. So there's the 1, and then this is the 8 ball that I missed. Okay? And then after I finish with those 2, then I set up my 3 and my 7, because these 2 form a straightforward pattern. 3 was out here, closer to the center, and I was driving through, so I'm going to want to use follow just like I did when I shot it in the thing. I'm going to want to use follow to come out, and then I'm going to want to pocket that 7. Okay? And I'll do that until I get 10 good repetitions of each. I don't need to put all 4 balls back up again unless I want to. They were in a kind of a funky setup for it, so I'll just do the 2 and the 2. Okay, so that's how you turn a run out drill, or and again, you can use, say I want to do 9 ball, I can shoot 9 ball, and then just whenever I miss, stop and shoot that shot. And you'll see pros do that actually at tournaments. You'll see a pro miss a shot in a hill match, and then after it's over, they shake the hands, and then that pro will walk back over to the table, set the shot up again, and shoot it to make, and they'll shoot it 2 or 3 times if they have to make it. They'll shoot till they make it. You'll actually see them do that at tournaments. And it's the same concept. You break your run out when you miss, then you stop, you set that same shot up again, and you keep shooting it over and over and over again. Now, I also had, on another day, I had this shot, and when I shot it, I ended up getting out from here. I had to stretch, and I shot, and the cue ball came up like this, and I left myself badly. I should have been down here. So I can also, even though I got out, I can use that to say, hey, this is a common shot. I should be able to make that 11 and get a lead either here or over here. And I may practice this leave, even though I got out during the game, I did it through shot making. I may play with this and say, okay, well, if I hit it thin, cue ball takes off. If I hit it thicker from the same place, the cue ball dies and I have to put English, and see I came up short. I may play with this and experiment with it and I found it because it came up during that drill. I may also experiment trying to get to this side over here using right hand English and see if I can get into this area over here and how dangerous it is with the scratches and all that stuff. So you can find shots that you should use to drill. It's going to turn up where your weaknesses are faster than doing a preset drill. Anyhow, the idea being that you find your weaknesses faster by putting yourself into real situations than you do by putting yourself into artificial situations. Now, I hope you learned something. And if you have questions, by all means put them down below. If you like what you saw, hit like, hit subscribe, ding the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Right now I'm going to go ahead and go forward and just tag the entire drill that I did onto the end of this with some commentary and some suggestions on how to approach the drills and racks in general. So there's a whole bunch of learning points coming up, but first I wanted to talk about how to practice. So with that, I'll let you go. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of the shooting.
All right, so starting to shoot the drill here, and I want to talk. I'm not going to talk through this entire thing. I'm just going to highlight some things. So first, I don't normally start at step 1. This is kind of ridiculous. You're literally just shooting balls in the pockets. So yeah, there's nothing to this. I think that the only advantage would be for somebody who's a very, very good early beginner would be the only person that gets value out of this. I normally start this, if I'm going to do this, at 6 balls, with 2 ball in hands. It's easy enough that I'm going to get out every time, and but it's still got some pattern, the beginnings of pattern play in it. There's no pattern play in this other than move things out of the way and just take the easiest stroke you can get. So I'm not going to stretch for those. I'm not going to get the bridge. I'm just going to shoot them in a pocket where I don't have to stretch. So throughout this, I will be speeding through the racks. There's no reason for you to sit there and watch me rack. Uh, a note here, anytime you have balls that you have struck directly with the Q-tip, you want to wipe them off because they're going to have chalk on them and that'll cause skids. Okay, second round, ball in hand every shot. So this is where you're going to think about problem balls if you get any. I don't get any. So, but if you do get problem balls, you want to solve them right away. Use the ball in hand after the break to solve your problems. So now we're going to get 3 ball in hands after the break. So that's a total of 4 ball in hands. You get ball in hand after the break every rack, and then you get, in this case, 3 additional ball in hands. Now, what this means, and the strategy on this is, like I said, if you have a problem ball, deal with it right away. Um, that 5-6 could turn into a problem if I screw up, so I'm going to take it right away. The 2 ball's kind of a problem, so you want to use one of your ball in hands on it if you can. Other than that, your strategy here is I want to find a pattern that's very easy, where I can get 3 balls in and then use my ball and hands to finish out the rack. Now, could I play position all the way through? Of course I could. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take every ball in hand I get. It's actually an important point, and this is something that I do want to talk about. Uh, you should always be aware of the rules of the tournament you're playing, or the drill you're doing, and you should take full advantage of the rules. Um, there are people who say, no, no, don't do that. It might be cheap. You know, okay, the guy grabbed the cue ball before it stopped rolling, but it wasn't going to scratch, and I shouldn't call him on that foul. I'm going to call BS on that. Okay, it's part of the game. Um, I don't care what the foul is, you call it. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. In the U.S. Open in 2001, Tommy Kennedy versus Kim Davenport, they were playing uh, right after I finished my second match. I was up by the booth where Pat Fleming, I don't think it was Pat, somebody was doing commentary up there. Might have been Grady Matthews. And anyhow, Tommy Kennedy was playing Kim on the TV table, and there was a rule that you could only use your break cue on the break, and after that, all shots had to be made with your playing cue. Kim Davenport broke and had an easy straight in shot from right where he was standing. He didn't have to move, so he just got down and shot it with his break cue. And Tommy called him on it. And you know what? Nobody had any hard feelings. The truth is, Kim broke a rule, which had been explicitly discussed in the players' meeting prior to the Open, um, and that was it was a foul. He fouled, and Tommy called him on it. And obviously Kim wasn't happy that he got called, but he couldn't blame Tommy for calling him. It was in the rules. So anytime you have a rule set, always take advantage of the rules to their full extent. You're going to see me. I think I do it in this rack. So remember what I just said. We have 3 ball in hands after the break, so we're going to look for basically a stop pattern or an easy roll forward pattern that's going to give us 3 balls in a row. And then we're going to take our 3 ball in hands on the last 3 balls, and we're going to do that regardless of what our leave is. So always take advantage of the rules. Don't make the game harder on yourself than it has to be. Um, Here I can roll forward pretty easily for the 6, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do anything special because I've got 3 ball in hands left in this rack, and I've got 3 balls on the table. So I'm just going to take 3 ball in hands and shoot them straight in and stop. All right, now we have two ball in hand. So once again, we're going to look for a four ball pattern that we can take advantage of to get out. We don't have any problem balls. A six actually is almost a problem because it kind of sort of blocks the five, but not really. Given the choice of taking the five here or the six, I'm going to take the six out of the way. Even if the five has the whole pocket, I'll take that six first, simply to open it. All right, so I underhit the six, leaving myself a bad angle on the four, so I'm going to go ahead and use one of my ball in hands here. Now, it's pretty essential now. I want to save that last ball in hand for the last ball, or if I get myself in trouble. So I'm going to look for a four ball pattern here. I see it, and it's not bad, so I'm just going to take it and get out. All right, so now I've got one ball in hand, which means that I'm going to. I've got a problem with the four and the five. Neither one of them has a pocket. So what I have to do here is I'm going to have to nudge one of those at some point. There is no better time to do it than now because I've got the ball in hand after the break. Plus I've got another ball in hand. So if I nudge these and I don't get a shot, then I'll be able to use that second ball in hand to save myself. All right, so I've got the 5 sitting in front of the pocket, and I'm going to use that as a safety ball, is what I'm going to do. So I want to get the the 1 and the 2 taken care of. I'm going to start with the 2, and I'm going to plan to leave a shot on the 1. Um, I choose the backward cut on this, and that may have been a mistake. I probably should have chosen to cut it normally and have the cue ball bounce off the rail for the 1. I didn't. I chose to backward cut it, uh, and I just slimmed down that angle, and I end up with an angle on the 1. Is it makeable? Sure it is, but why take the chance? I've got the 5 as a safety ball. I'm going to hit it. I do hit that a bit hard. I meant to roll out for the 4, but I didn't mean to roll all the way across the table like this. The good news is I still have a shot on the 4. I can leave the 3. I've got 1 ball in hand still remaining, so I can shoot the 3 and play the leave for the 6. And if I don't get it, it's okay. I use my ball in hand on the 6 to leave the 1. If I do get it, which I did, then I have the option of just shooting it in and then taking the ball in hand on the 1. Here there's a choice between shooting the 9 or shooting the 10 first. I choose the 10 because I'm going to just roll up a little bit. If I underhit it, I've got the 11, which is what happened. And if I hit it hard enough, too hard, I have the 9. So now I'm just going to play off the rail and out for the 9 and get out. Okay, coming up on my first miss here, I left it bad. I shot it bad. I deserve to miss that. I did something funky where I pushed my arm out when I stroked. That was just a bad shot all around. All right, so remember, scratching on the brake doesn't matter in this drill. So I did scratch on the brake, and I have the 5.9 is a problem. I'm going to have to break that out. And again, when you're going to have to break it out, there's always danger afterwards. So I want to do it while I've still got my ball in hand. I want to use my ball in hand to set up the breakout, and I want to have a ball in hand available in case I come out badly when I break it out. So here, neither the 1 nor the 3 has a pocket on their own. I don't like shooting combinations, uh, but in this case, it's the right shot because it's the only problem on the table. And if I fix that, then I have just a clear run, and my second ball in hand gets to be used if I get myself in trouble. And I did not end up great, but this is not bad, so I choose to go ahead and shoot it. And then I've got my ball in hand if I get in trouble. I'm just conserving that ball in hand. All right, so this one, um, solids is probably the easier of the two from this position. If I was going to play stripes, I would play for the 12 to get on the 9, and there's really, I'd be on the wrong side of the 12. I'd be drawing for it. I don't like draw in that situation. And then I'd have to get from the 11 to the 10 for my leave on the 8. This way, now I slow down here because I planned the 1 in the side and roll forward for the 4 in the other side, which gives me a perfect leave on the 8. But I got so good on this 4, it's a perfect leave. So in choosing between these two, what it came down to is the 1 is a guaranteed pocket and the 4 is a guaranteed leave. So I choose the guaranteed pocket because it doesn't do me any good to have a guaranteed leave if I miss the shot. All right, so here, this is a tough decision. Do I take the solids? Do I take the stripes? Um, I don't like that the 9 that the 12 is blocking the 9, and I don't like that the 11 is down table and I'm going to have to travel up table to get it. So I decide, I'm really having a tough decision here. Uh, Having only two solids on the table kind of swings it. Um, I'm going to end up missing this 8 ball, but it's because I miss this shot, or I miss the leave coming off the 4. When I come off the 4, I need to come off the rail, and I need to be between the 9 and the 12 shooting at the 8. And I hit this with top left. I should have hit it with just left, which would have put me down there perfect. I didn't, um, so I call it, and then I just miss the shot. Just a bad leave, bad shot. Okay, so looking at this table, the 9 and the 10 is a problem. If I was to go that way, uh, and so I decide that it's easy enough to pocket the 1, use the guaranteed position on the 2, shoot the 2, guaranteed position on the 3, and then I can just roll past the 10 to get the 8 in the corner. So this one, choosing the set was the biggest part of it. Okay, now we're into real pattern play. 15 balls with 2 ball in hands. You can see I've got 2 distinct clusters. I've got the 5-3-10 cluster, which needs to be broken out immediately, and then I've got the 6-11-9 cluster. And breaking this out is going to run either the 3 or the 10 into that cluster. And so this is a problem. So now I'm going to clear out some balls. I want to save my 2 ball in hands, um, for dealing with that cluster if I have to. So in this case, the only reason that those 3 balls are a problem is because it's 9 balls in the way. So I used that side pocket shot to get leave on that. And now if I take the 3 out of the center of this, or I could just pull back off of each one depending on my angle, um, that gives me a chance to clear that out. Then I've got a wide open table. I've still got 2 ball in hands available to me. So it becomes just an exercise of of making the shots and not taking any risks. All right, so only problem on the table is the 3-6. Immediately deal with it using my ball in hand after the break to bump those, and now we're off with a wide open table. So it's just a matter of ball making from here. So there is no excuse for this. I was a little out of line, but uh, this was confidence. This is one of the shots that I've had to work on because I just miss them way too often. I did the same thing I always do with them. I overcut that one. Okay, so this is 15 balls with no ball in hand except after the break. Um, Now we're getting into real pattern play. So the 5 and the 8 both block the 1, so I'm going to want to take one of those out of there. The table's actually pretty wide open, and I've got the 3 in the corner as a safety ball. I'm going to go ahead and use the 3 to guarantee the 5 and just get, because the 5 is a problem also. So the 1 and the 5 are blocked by the 8, and the 1 is blocked by the 5 and the 8. So I want to eliminate that problem immediately. And I think the 11 had a little piece of the 8. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with all of that as quickly as I possibly can. Um, I also want to get balls off the rails. If they're on the rails, I want to get them off of the rails. And from here, it's just a matter of playing out the pattern. I'm going to try to play the top half of the table first. The 6 is a problem, and I want to get on the 8 because the 8 is still a problem on the 1 ball. So I need to take care of that 8 as quick as I can. Um, I didn't really have the angle I wanted on the 8, so I'm going to use this 10 ball to try to get on it. I end up getting on the 15. That's fine. I'm going to use a 15 to get on this 8. There we go. That's the angle I wanted. So this table turns into a mess. I've got the two little clusters to deal with. Um, the 14's blocking the 7. The 5 12 7 cluster is a problem. The 3 is sitting in the way of the 12. So I've got all kinds of things I have to solve here. I'm going to start by opening this middle up, getting rid of this 8 ball. Uh, I really don't have a shot uh, on the top cluster until I get some stuff moved around. All right, so I've done a good job of moving things around and clearing out some lanes. All that's left is I need to make the three and break up those three balls because they're in each other's way. So I get a pretty good leave. I'm closer to the rail than I'd like. Um, I need to make the three. I need to run into those three. And when I run into them, that's going to open everything up. I will have no more problems, and then it'll become risk management. But the three hangs on me. So you can see the table was wide open after that. All right, so once again, we've got some problems down here. That line of balls, the 212, it looks like, 7, 3, and 9, all need to be moved out of the way. I've got the 14 as a safety ball. So if at any point in here I get in trouble while I'm trying to clear these out, I've got the 6 ball or the 14 ball. Um, I choose to hit the 3. It makes a new problem. Uh, it doesn't. I fix a problem, but I cause a new problem at the same time. Um, so I kind of got a bad leaf. So I'm going to have to. Uh, I'm going to have to use my safety ball here. And at the same time, I want to solve a problem. I don't want to use the safety ball and not solve a problem. So I decide to play a combination. So I have played this perfectly up to this point. I left myself. It's not a hard shot, but it's not an easy one either. Um, and I just miss. Now I've got to practice that.